We're going to hive these bees. This is a 5-pound package of bees. I just picked them up at Tacoma this morning. I've got my hive already set up. I kind of cleaned them up and I put a frame feeder in so I can feed them the next week or two. Put some new frames in because these guys like to draw wax when they're new. So hopefully they'll draw me lots of fresh wax. This is the package. Like I said, it's a 5-pound package. You can buy 3 or 5 pounds. This can in the top is food, just sugar water. They've been eating that for the last day or so. I'll open it up here and show you. It's got bees and sugar water in it. So what I'm going to do is just kind of pour this out so it goes into the feeder, most of it. And the bees will clean all that up. Next thing you got to worry about is your queen. That's what this metal tab is for here. You straighten that tab and you bring out your queen cage. You can see the queen inside the screen. She's only been with these bees probably a day or two. So to ensure that she knows, or the bees know that that's their queen, we leave her in the cage a few days, and then we'll put a marshmallow in to release her. And so that gives them, 4 or 5 days that they can get familiar with the queen and learn that that's their queen. And so this package, you'll notice there's a few dead bees in the bottom. That's normal. Don't freak out if you got a few dead bees. If the queen is dead, you need to get hold of your supplier and say, hey, I got a problem with my queen. And more than likely he'll replace her if she's dead on arrival. But follow all the instructions that your provider gives you. Don't trust anything I say over what they say. The guy who bought the bees knows the most about the bees you got. So we're going to dump these bees. Basically, just dump the bees in the box where that space is. And first, I just kind of give them a wrap to knock them all down. And then we just tip it over and pour in the bees. You can see there's just a big mountain of bees in there. And they'll just spread out and start filling that hive up. Kind of knock the box to get them all loose. That's pretty good. The few that are left in there, I'll just set the box in front of the hive and they'll find their way out. So I take this can of food. See, it's still got bees in it. We're just going to set it over here and they'll clean that up today. So now we take our queen. It's important you get her back in the hive correctly so she can be fed. And, so you want the screen out so the bees can get to it. And I accomplish that by kind of putting it here and put an empty frame next to her. That will ensure that the bees can get to her and they won't draw a comb to cover her up. So you just put that empty frame in right next to it, and that tab, you just use that to know where she's at and when you got to go. After 2 or 3 days, I'll come back out and open that up and get that cage out. There's a cork in the bottom of the cage. I didn't show you that, but I can. And you'll see I just dropped the queen in the bottom. She's okay because she fell very slowly, but that's a good way to damage your queen. So you can see on the bottom there's a cork in there. After about 3 days, we'll come out and we'll take that cork out. We'll replace that with a marshmallow. And over several days, the bees will eat that marshmallow out. And that will slowly release the queen, kind of a timed release. So we'll put her back in here so she's snug. Make sure you're not squishing any bees on the ends. Got one down here that won't move. So then you can just put your frames back in. As you can see, the bees have pretty much dispersed in the hive. So we've just dropped the frames in very carefully. When you get to the bottom, you just kind of put it down and the bees will move. Just don't slam the hive, slam it in there. So if you just kind of let it go down slowly, give them a chance to move, they will move. And there you go. I push all the frames towards the feeder. And that hive is done. So we put my inner covers on. I cut a notch in the inner cover. And you got to kind of slide that on so the bees don't get squished. We got bees up here. We need to move them off. But they'll so this afternoon I'll mix up some more sugar water and come back and fill those hives. With that top entrance like that, I don't know if you can see, but you need to slide the hive top to the front. That allows an entrance for the bees. So that's how you hive a package.